Well, here we are again, people. It is a very wholesome and very, very appreciative welcome back to those that are joining us today. We will be dealing with some different things to talk about today. A couple of things from the previous show as well, but champions. A little bit of the champions taking a break. But the rumor mill never sleeps. You know how that is. Big up Red Chili. Big up Red Chili. I know. Yes, we are live, Red Chili. Big up to those that are with us. We are going to be doing just a little bit of a report on some of the news, some of the rumors, some of the things that are going on in the Liverpool verse. And also, we're going to also maybe even do a little bit of a cool little segment we're going to call "Remember When" with Scouse Lee. So,
I'll have to get remembering something new, something fresh, something vital.
Yeah, exactly. Lee likes to take you back into time. DeLorean settings, definitely. So I figured I'd give him a little opportunity to reminisce properly. We got the Irishman in the green room, so he'll be joining us pretty soon when he's ready. Basically, today we're going to be, speaking on the Premier League winning champions in. Catching some rays in Dubai. Arne Slot, popping bottles in Ibiza. I know I didn't pronounce that right. I know you got to have a little bit more oomph when you actually say Ibiza.
Different ways, can't you? It can be said many different ways. Whatever way you fancy, isn't it? Whatever way is natural to you.
Yeah. Or let's see, and also you got to love it too. I mean, he was popping bottles and dancing to "We Are the Champions," so that's always fun. While there's the beach pics of Simicast and Elliot on the beach. Shout out to Simicast, by the way. Happy birthday to you. Some party clips are all rolling in as I said. You know what? This team is definitely, a lot of the players are certainly on the beach settings already. So we'll have also some transfer rumors, some contract talks, big decisions that are on the books. We have some very, very powerful words from our captain, Roger Van Dijk, on the future of this team and what he expects from this summer. We'll have from Lucho to maybe Frimpong joining us, to maybe Konaté, to maybe even Florian Wirtz on the end. There's no rest for the backroom team this summer, so let's just dive into this right now and get it all started. And again, thank you for everyone joining us today. How are you doing today, Lee, by the way?
Good, yeah. Excellent, thanks. Hope everyone out there is excellent too. Everyone in chat.
Definitely so. We are going to talk or start this segment off with Diaz's future. Is he Barcelona-bound? Or are we going to get some contract extension reality in our lives? So I'll begin it as in Lucho has broken his silence after bagging a goal against Arsenal and telling them nighty-night. He confirmed he wants to wake up to a new contract at Liverpool and stay here. But we do know that Barcelona has been actually picking up interest or circling the waters and possibly trying to figure out a way to bring his talents to Spain. And contract talks are still ongoing with Liverpool and Diaz's people. So this could heat up fast. Deco himself just admitted they're light on wingers like him and that they would like to have a winger of his caliber on their team. So, which makes sense. I think he's a top quality player. I think he's definitely. I think he's one of the best world class. I know some people don't want to necessarily use that word, or maybe even some people have different interpretations of what that word means for the player. But I would say I think he's certainly a world class player when it comes to left wingers, certainly in just forwards in general. So I'll start this off. I see that the Irishman is joining us now too, and I brought in Nalante from the green room as well. I'll say hello, and also bring in Nalante by asking him, should Liverpool cash in on Diaz while his value is high, or does he remain a must-keep player under Arne Slot, in your opinion?
Good evening to everyone in the chat. Good evening. Good evening to all Irishmen. Lee, once again. Talking about the Colombian, Mucho Gracias, Mr. Diaz,
Right.
Chris Angelo's countryman who he doesn't like. And how can you dislike your own countryman? Let's say football player. Wonderful player. That's Brendan Rodgers. Wonderful player. Wonderful player this week. Wonderful player.
Very high level, high standard.
Yeah.
Say it like that.
Exactly. As Brendan Rodgers once said, I'll say about this, a wonderful technician with the ball. A wonderful technician he is. Lucho, it's interesting. Finally, we've got someone basically coming out and saying they want to, well, apart from Harvey, but someone coming out and just saying, apart from the contract, saying, I want to stay. And obviously, all the talk that he wants to, potentially leave on Barca, it's kind of refreshing to hear that. And if he's saying that, then I'll keep him.
Yeah.
I'll definitely would keep him because
you need more players like that. Yeah.
Yeah, in our team, apart from Salah, but Salah dribbles. He's the only one that can dribble. And the people can beat, but he can dribble and beat a man. He needs. The problem is Lucho. He needs to be more consistent in terms of assists and stuff like that. But yeah, 100%, I would keep him. If he's saying he wants to stay, and he wants to stay here many years, no problem. Keep him for me.
You could also argue. I mean, this has been possibly one of his best years, to be honest with you, at the team. And I mean, and why I say that's because, albeit he's been versatile enough to be able to serve not only as a left winger for us, he's been able to play on the right side if necessary, but also play central for us, obviously in that number 9 role that we've been trying to figure out a way or find a solution for. And then you could also say even number-wise, though, he has been pretty exceptional.
I wouldn't say exceptional 12. It's just that he's had periods. He's like Cristiano Ronaldo a couple of seasons ago. He scored phase 7, like 18 or 19 goals, and some of the goals were embraces. It doesn't tell the story. So I wouldn't say exceptional. No, not exceptional.
Okay.
Not exceptional. He's been good in parts, but there's been parts like the team his form has dropped off as well. But look, all in all, if he wants to stay, keep him. And if he does, and I think he will be staying next season. But if that's the case, then he needs to raise his level even more. There needs to be more from Lucho. He needs to raise it to another level, in my opinion. You see the way Rafinha and Cole are balling out. And I'm not saying that he has to be perfect every game, but what I mean, just raise the bar like Rafinha did when he comes to. That's what Lucho needs to do now for me next season.
Okay. Lee, what are your thoughts on it?
I still really like Lucho. I'm still a fan of Lucho. I haven't lost faith in him. For me, he's one of Colombia's finest, best looked exports. I mean, I know there's others like as well, but he's our version of that. Like, he's Colombia's finest, isn't he? I like him. Yeah, I think he's a good player. I want to keep him. I want to see what he does with our new forwards.
Okay. Um, let me double check on this one too. Double check. 'Cause this was done. So this was done April 15th, and actually he's scored a couple of goals since. So this would probably be like, but it had a Squawker did a top. Who are the top wingers in Premier League currently? And the top 5 was Salah, Cody, Ibrahima, Lucho, and Son was in as the top 5.
The high point for me this season with Lucho was the Leverkusen game. He was brilliant in the Leverkusen game. Fully deserving what he got in that game.
This is relatively recent too, because it has the stat being it has Mohamed Salah with 27 goals and 18 assists. I don't think that they have a updated because he has more than 11 goals this
I'd like
year.
to see Lucho get more doubles. Just in single goals. Like to see him get more doubles, like in coming seasons if he can.
Yeah, he's got 13 goals this year because he had a goal against. He's had a goal, and possibly that's why I would have had him actually. I wouldn't have had him. I wouldn't have had him this year for like statistics. Why I was saying that, that I think this might be one of his best years. He's got 13 goals in in the league. That's not. I'm not saying all together. I'd have to do a count on how many goals he has altogether. But just speaking in league, because I know he's got at least 3 goals in, if not more, in Champions League because he had the hat trick.
He has 17. He has 17 in all comps.
Okay, 17. Okay.
I'm more than happy with him, Cozy.
You're more than happy. Okay.
With him and Cozy,
well, I mean, I'd also
if you'd have 2 players for every position, and that's our 2 for that position, I'm more than happy with them too. I don't see any sense in changing it at the moment. We need changes in other places to try and keep it. Do you know what I mean? Don't want too many outgoings and incomings, like can be unsettling.
Let me see. Also,
where would he go anyway? Barca? Loads of bollocks. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, is it? Like the
What's
money
that?
thing with Barca. I was saying, where would he be going, Lucho, if he did leave? Like, I mean, who's going to buy him? It's only Barca that want him, innit? I'm sure the clubs can have him, but they haven't actually targeted him.
Yeah, he's got a goal in the League Cup. But let's see. I mean, this is his best. This is his best year as a This is his best year as a Liverpool player. He had 13 goals and 5 assists last year, all comps. He had 5 goals, but that was also the year that he got injured. 5 goals and 2 assists. The 21-22 year is tough I'd have to look at that one specifically because that's the year he came in. He only played half the year here, and the other half he played at Porto. So it looks like it says 22 goals, 9 assists, but that's some of his goals were in Portugal in the Portuguese league, and some of them were here because he had 4 goals Prem. Yeah, he had like 4, 8. So he had 8 goals. Yeah, he had 8 goals for us that initial starting year. He had 14 goals for us.
For me, he's still like a player that excites me. I like watching him play. Some games he gets a goal and then could go on and get more, but doesn't. But he's still a really good player. Like, I'm a big fan of his. Like, I like him anyway. For now, I like him. Maybe at some point I used to like Jota, but now I've lost patience with Jota over his injuries. For now, Lucho's a valued member of our squad.
For now, he is.
Yeah, for now he is. Yeah, until he's past it or whatever, and the changing of the guard inevitably comes, like it seems to have for Robbo.
Okay. So you're in on keeping him as well. How about for you? How about for you, Brian?
I read these stories, all the time. This to me is give me a new contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's saying. So I want to stay. Then I said it's up to the club. So that's all the usual. And to me, it depends what he wants. 28 now. If he wants a 4-year deal, or a 2-year extension, if he wants a ton of money, probably all comes down to that. Really, just depends what he wants. But there's no, like 5-6 players or 5-6 positions that we need to be upgrading in or replacing players who are moving on or replacing aging players, whatever. It's not another issue we need. It's not another problem we need. So I would be keeping him, but if he wants a new contract, that will probably be the breaking point. It's what he wants and whether we want to give him that. Yeah, it's a moment from now. He's 28, like I say. He's last big contract, last chance to earn huge money. Well, again, he goes off to Saudi when he's 33 or something, but whatever. At a top club in a top league. So probably comes down to what he wants. There's no need to create that other problem for ourselves. I think the club will play hardball with him and not offer him a contract.
How long has he got to go? How long's he got to go on the original one he signed?
I think he goes to 2028, but I'd have to double check for you on that one.
27.
27. That's a long way.
He has 2 more years.
That's a long way.
He has 2 years left on his deal. Yeah. So, I mean, this season is done. So he's got 2 more after this season. So depends what he wants, I suppose. To me, you don't need to sell him. No need to sell him whatsoever. Like I say, there's too much other stuff we need to be doing. So the last thing you need to be doing is trying to find a replacement for him as well.
I get where your take on it. I look at it truthfully. Obviously, everyone knows Lucho is one of the players I actually enjoy watching play. But I also look at it as if he did want to go to Barcelona, then he could do very similar techniques as as a certain right back has done, or even certain techniques that other players have done on their teams, which is make a stink and say that you keep letting your dad spout off about Barcelona and and go that route and just put out there, hey, because there is the chance that maybe Liverpool looks at you and says, okay, we'll give you a new contract and we're going to lock you up for another 2 years or maybe 3 years, something like that. So you have another 4 years with us or 5 years with us. That would take you that would most likely close the door on you going on to the Barcelona
I would feel sorry for him if he didn't get an upgrade on the wages that he gets, because we all know it's like nothing what he gets at the moment.
I think if anything, he can make it if he got let's say he gets 150,000 or 160,000 or something like that, which will be a considerable upgrade from his 55,000 I think he's on or something around there a year, or 55,000 a week. Excuse me.
I think I know it's money and like it's going to cost us money, club money, but surely you can afford to up his 55 a bit like for him before like 2027 or 28. He'd be like in his 30s there and he'll be on like 50 grand.
Mm-hmm. The point is though, the point I was just trying to get at is that if he wanted to make a move, or if Barcelona was his interest and everything else, he would probably not put it out there like, let's see what happens. He'd be more like, oh well, we'll see what happens, or he'll be more like optimistic about it as opposed to like putting it out there that he wants to stay, he wants to be here, and if anything, I applaud the fact that he's saying those things. I don't look at it with the grain of salt.
They'd probably come in under 100 with an opening offer to him, wouldn't it? It'd be under 100.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone wants to stay at this club.
Well, that's not true, but all right.
No, the people that are here, I mean, the people that are saying, I think Trent is a completely different story. He wanted to walk. Yeah, I just think it'll come down. I think he wants a new contract, is all I'm saying. So if the club can come to an agreement with him, like we all know he deserves.
I was going to say, don't you believe he deserves a new contract? Yeah,
I just said he deserves more money. I've been saying that for years. He deserves more money. He deserves more. He's on a low wage, but that's what I'm saying. Like come and say, oh, I want to stay, so all the fans are happy, and come out, you play the game. It's fine. You play the game. He's playing the game. They all play the game.
Yeah,
he's played his part this year. Like you say, I think the best he ever was for us until he started kind of picking up there at the back end of this season was in that first half season. Like you said, he came and he scored 8 goals. I thought he was brilliant in that first half season. He came in. It's all about. It's all It's now it's 2 years. Like we're saying, like players when they've got 2 years left, that's when you need to sit down and start talking to these players. That's when you need to start. This is the point where you start making decisions and negotiating. I don't see Barcelona coming in and giving us 80 million for it. They're
not for our evaluation.
No, that's not going to happen. So yeah, look, sign him up, give him 100 grand a week. And give him an extra 2 years. That would be carrying him up to this 32, and it locks him down. We don't need to go nuts, give him 200 grand or anything like that. But I think someone said if someone came in and bid 80 million, well, I think we probably would make a move. But I just see it.
Someone bids 80 million.
See anything happening.
Yeah, someone bids 80 million.
So
it might be time to move on from Lucho.
But I can just see, like, we don't need any more transfer sagas. So just whatever it is, get it sorted. If he wants something and we want to give him something, if he can't meet in the middle, if he can't come to an agreement, then it's bad. But I think they'll sort something out. But this is silly season now. This is what we call this is the silly season. This is when everyone's off on the beach, so the stories come out now. New contracts, players, and we don't need too much distraction. So if they want him to stay, just come to an agreement with him and get it sorted. Because like I say, we've got Gakpo and him on the left for the next couple of years, and we'd be okay.
Yeah, agreed. It'd be nice to also maybe even see us get something on the right side to shore up the right side as well, especially with AFCON. Although both of those players could, more so Lucho than certainly Cody, but both of those players could play at different positions on the pitch for us. If Diaz, let's say Barcelona does come in with the 80 million evaluation, who should be his ideal replacement, positionally and statistically? Who would you say? Let's say, maybe we get to 80 million. Did you just, rope that 80 million right back into getting a player, getting, someone on that left side for 80 million, or do you maybe can't
think of anyone.
Advance someone from the youth academy or someone that we might want to play at that role?
If he was to leave.
Maybe you moved Szoboszlai to the left wing. He's played on the left wing before for us as well.
How much is Chiesa on? Because he was sitting on the bench getting money.
Or maybe give Chiesa finally a righteous try at it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, maybe something like that. Lee, since you're mulling it over, tell us what you think. What would be your ideal replacement?
Okay. Who do we know who's good? Who's all like, I can't think of anyone offhand as a direct right-footed left winger as a replacement for him. Ideally, I'd want someone else like him that is like sort of someone who tries to take people on, like, and run with people. Who could do that for us? I don't know. I'll
say that,
pass.
yeah. Or what
Throw it
is
someone else.
what if they came in for $5 million? That's sterling too. I'll say it like that. What if they come in for 75 million euros? I guess it is, or something around that number. I think is what the equivalent is. Since someone's saying they won't come in for 80, I see Red Chili saying they won't come in for 80. This is all just like having fun with it.
It costs the same amount to replace him, if not more. So like it just wouldn't be worth it. Not with all the other outgoings that are probably going to happen in attack. If Jota does leave and Chiesa does leave, that's 3 with Nunes. To have a 4th one, it'd just be too much, wouldn't it? Be too much of evil at once. And why anyway? I mean, he wants to stay. Surely we can just give him, I don't know, 90 grand a week and then say we'll put
so do you maybe take the money? Do you then take the money, or you say you're going to take the money and reassess it to a different area of the pitch? Basically, you take the 80 million and you maybe put it towards a full, a striker, or maybe 80 million and you go get Kirkez and Huijsen. Something like that. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I could not think of it. I still can't think of it.
All right. I'll let you mull it over. If you have an idea, then definitely give me a shout. How about for you, Nolante?
Lucho Mundo's Giants. If we got the money for him, who would I get? It's kind of hard because there's not really anyone on the left side. There's just raw potential, but someone I always like. And again, I think he needs to move and progress to the next level is Nico Williams. I've always liked him, and he's done well for Bilbao, and I think he can take the next step. And I think playing at us can take him to a next level. It can get him more better with his shooting. It's crossing, man. He's got all the ingredients. All the ingredients for me. Yeah, I'll buy Nico.
How much do you reckon Bilbao would want for him? About
50 million release clause.
50.
Yeah.
That's not too much, is it?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's worth a punt, to be honest. I mean, really see it out there's no one that really stands out if you left-sided player, but again, you can tell you, but I've always Nico, I like him, man.
Nico Williams is your spot?
Yeah,
is your guy?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. How about for you, Brian? Let's say for some way, somehow Barcelona looks in the creases of their couch. They find 75 million euros or 80 million euros or something around there, and Lucho is on his way to Barcelona. Who is his replacement?
I would probably. I mean, if you can get Nico Williams younger than him, so they could get a left winger. So let's just say for some reason Nico says he doesn't want to go to Barca.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get him for 50, why would you spend 80 on someone who's 3-4 years older than him?
Mm-hmm.
But I would go either. Yeah, I go for him, or I go for Barcola, or I go for Rodrigo. I'd probably go for Rodrigo because Real Madrid. He's unhappy now there at Real Madrid because everyone's come in. He doesn't play. I would, if he wanted to. Yeah, if he was going, those would probably be my top 2 choices to go for after him: Rodrigo or Nico Williams. I put Nico Williams at the top, and Rodrigo just behind. But yeah, just if you're asking me, if I don't think they're realistic either way, but yeah,
this is going to pass. Yeah, just go
Yeah, if
past
you
him.
got 80 million for him, you could
All right.
definitely. Rodrigo won't cost more than that, I don't think. Especially like if they need to move him, they need to generate money. They need to but yeah, they'd be my two.
Okay. I put a poll in the chat. Should Liverpool offer Diaz a new deal this summer and basically lock him up as a red for the prime years of his career? And there's other people. This next player is a player that he's certainly a player that could be considered more of a right wing back, I guess, if not a right winger, maybe less so than a right back per se. But the Frimpong deal is heating up out there. Looks like a lot of people are putting thumbs up for the Red for Life. Put a thumbs up. Red Chili put a thumbs up on the 2-year extension for Lucho. Frimpong deal heating up, and all signs point to him possibly becoming a Liverpool Red. Apparently, the reports out there have it that Liverpool are very quote-unquote keen on him. The 40 million euro release clause is, I think that's like almost a steal in the sense of like the numbers that you're seeing for players today. The player wants to move, and I mean wants to move to Liverpool. Now it's simply down to the backroom staff at Liverpool and whether they can facilitate the deal or if they're even interested in the deal. I guess, do we act now or do we get into a dragged out, possible bidding war style saga? That's the question to be asked. But does Frimpong offer enough defensive discipline to replace Trent? Or again, are we just looking at a glorified, wing back option that is going to again have to have Konaté or whoever's playing that right center half really, really playing two roles in essence, two positions in your mind? I'll ask that. I'll start with Lee this time.
I need to get better glasses. When I looked at the chat, then I thought the Brian had put even Madonna, but he said Matoma. But we could have Madonna on the wing, couldn't we? Like in a comb bra and that, like.
Yeah, we put Madonna on one ring and then put Guy Ritchie on the other or something like that. But
yeah, he's good. Yeah, I never thought of him, Matoma. I was trying to think of Premier League ones who play on the right. I was thinking mainly of our rivals, like, but I suppose Brighton are a rival. He's decent. I don't think I'd want him though, Matoma. I want someone else. If Lucho was to go, I prefer someone else to Matoma. Don't know why.
That's cool. How about for Frimpong?
Oh, Frimpong, yeah. I used to play Frimpong.
Yep. Let me ask Nolante the question. Nolante, does Frimpong offer enough defensive discipline to be a option at right back? I'll phrase it that way. A viable option for our right back position.
No.
Okay. So is he a viable replacement for Trent?
No.
Okay. No. All right. Simple as. All right. I'll see if I can get the hat trick here. And would he start in front of Connor Bradley? Shout out to definitely shout out to Barnes in the house. Big up, brother.
Barnes and Barnes in the yard, Would he start ahead of Bradley?
Barnes in the yard. There you go. yeah. It's down to like M.R or something like that. I saw that.
Yeah.
That guy's a tool. But go ahead.
Yeah. Would he start ahead of Bradley? You know what? you would think, but no, I think Bradley will start ahead of him.
Okay. I'll ask the same question to you, Brian.
It's sort of a yes, and I think it's certain games, he wouldn't be. He's not going to be your out and out defender. Like I think Bradley is our Trent replacement, and Frimpong is someone who can play two positions. He's not the world's greatest defender, but he's not that bad either. He played in the back four at Celtic for 2 years. Played, like I was saying before, he's got incredible recovery pace. I just think against certain teams, more of an attacking threat. So I don't think we'd be starting game in, game out with Frimpong at right back. I think it'd be mainly Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we've got a million games a season, so there'll be plenty of time for him. But I'm extremely excited to see him come in. I think what he offers going forward, it's different. It's incredible pace, energy. He's got 5 goals and 6 assists this year, so he knows how to get involved at the other end. That's just in the league. 5 assists in the Champions League. So he's, I think he would. I don't think we will. Yeah, if you said he's going to be our main right back, I don't think so. I just think he can cover both up and down the right wing. I think he'd be a great option. But no, he's not. He's not a superb out and out defender. No, but he's got a lot of other qualities. So no, I like him. I bring him in. Definitely.
Okay. I know that Enya is a viable consideration. The Forest, Nottingham Forest right back, who possibly could be leaving on a free. If we're obviously not going to go into the year with 3 right backs. If you had to make the choice, are you spending the 40 million euros on Frimpong, or are you maybe giving Enya a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal or something like that, and going with that as your right back tangent of Bradley and Enya? I'll ask that of Lee, actually, and then you two can answer it as well.
Ainey's extended his contract by a year at Nottingham Forest, so he's have to pay for him. He wouldn't be free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good player, Ainey.
Did he just extend?
Yeah, they had a 1-year extension.
They had an option on him, yeah.
They had an option, so they're probably trying to get money for him.
Yeah, they've done it to make sure he's still there. So
I think they'll do it just to make sure they could, if someone wants him bad enough, that they're going to spend money for him.
This Vanderson probably wouldn't be there, would he, off Monaco? We wouldn't have to pay that much for him. Similarly with that left back, the Belgian one, De Kuiper.
Mm-hmm.
We might be getting players that we don't think. We might be getting cheaper players, mightn't we? This one, it does seem a lot of money to spend. I know Trent's just left, so that, okay, buy a replacement, but it's just the other areas. If we got enough to buy in the other areas, or do we even intend to buy in the other areas in the way that we're all hoping we do? I'd be pleased to get Frimpong, but I'd be worried about where the rest of the cash will come from then to buy the other players we need. But I'll be pleased to have him, yeah. Varney wants him, yeah.
Okay. Seeing Marque in the house. Big up, Marque. Big up to Abdul as well. Big up to Alexander in the house. Definitely shout out to all of you. Big up. Yeah, there you go. Red Armchair supporter. Big up, big up. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. So, all right. Nolante. What's the more ideal tandem? Is it Frimpong and Bradley, or is it Enya and Bradley, or is it maybe Bradley and you fill in the blank?
Look, I'm just gonna be real. Frimpong for me is a little bit overrated for me.
Okay.
He's a good player, but I don't see how he fits into this slot system. Defensively, if you think Trent's bad, he's not. He's just not as great. And yeah, he's got a good attacking pace, but his defensive abilities, his awareness is not great. And I'm not impressed. If we're gonna get him as that's our first summer signing, personally, I'm not impressed. Yeah, he could cover other positions, but Aina can cover defensively and he can attack a bit. I'm not expecting my defender to be, but Bradley, and Aina, that's more than enough for me. Like Frimpong, nah, I'm not really. That's kind of put me off, man. I'm not really too enthusiastic with that side. Another Dutch player. If you want to go buy a Dutch man, go get Hatto rather than Frimpong. But yeah, I'm not impressed by Frimpong, if I'm honest. Not
Okay.
what we need.
Okay. Easy said. How about for you, Brian? With those options, those three options, you have the two that we just spoke on, or if you have a third in your mind that you would prefer. I know that you do like Frimpong, but maybe you have a third person out there that you would prefer even over him.
I mean, I know was going to be my second or third choice if he was on a free because good cover, good age for Bradley. I think we're overlooking Bradley a bit. He might have a very big part to play next year as long as he stays fit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I no, see, the thing is, you bring in someone like Frimpong, people are saying that it's a lot of money. I don't really think it is 35 million. Um, you always need to be prepared for the fact that you can sign a player and it just might not work out. If he's 25, if he's 26, uh, after a couple of years it hasn't worked out, well, get your money back. You get your money back, most of it. So, no, I just think we should back Bradley. Go with, he's on the right path now, and someone like Aina who would be happy to sit on the bench at Liverpool. Well, not happy to sit on the bench, but would do that. That would be decent backup. But I like this combination because I think Frimpong can cover further forward as well, and
Mm-hmm.
um, he's played 2 years. He's come through the Man City academy, so he's homegrown. He speaks English, obviously, because he's been in England before. Played 2 years in Scotland, so the culture, the country, not he's going to be used to all of that stuff. That's not going to be any problems for him. So I think he's a
Mm-hmm.
kind of not risk free, but not as high risk people as someone else. I'm just excited to see him. I think he'll give us something that we don't have. Coming off the bench or starting against lower block teams or teams that are, if you've got a team and you bring him on with half an hour to go and they're tired out and you bring on someone his kind of pace, you know, but like Lee was saying, people are asking where does he fit in. If the coach wants this guy and the coach thinks he's going to work, then go and get him. Back the coach. Like we've been saying, he's gone and won a league now, so back his decisions, and he can live or die by his decisions. And yeah, I don't like. I'm not giving out about people. I don't really like. All of a sudden, like I see a lot of people saying this about him and that about him. He's a footballer. He's a Dutch footballer. He can adapt. He can play different positions. But he's got a lot of qualities that other players don't have, and I think that's something we've been missing. I think we miss a bit of energy and pace this season, and he'll give us that. So yeah, I'm behind it. I think it's a good transfer. But I
Okay.
wouldn't have anyone else in mind, sort of like, oh, if we don't get him, definitely go and get this guy. Because, I mean, yeah.
Okay. Um, well, there are some other players out there that are on the radar as well, and apparently, some of those players that we're looking at are also players that Real Madrid want, and those players, some wear Liverpool red, others wear red and black stripes, actually. So Madrid are already plotting, apparently, to do their next Liverpool raid after we've seen them do the likes of taking our right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Konaté is now on their radar, and we can't also forget a possible replacement, if not a possible player to contend, if not play with. Konaté. Huijsen is also linked to both Liverpool and Madrid, who's reportedly told us, and this is what's interesting. It's been reported that Huijsen has told us to wait, as Madrid are his preferred destination. I know my answer. I would go tell Huijsen if that's accurate. I tell him to go kick rocks and forget I called. But should Liverpool keep fighting at all costs for one Konaté to stay? So that means working out whatever it takes to make sure that he signs an extension and doesn't explore alternatives to his future. And if Huijsen prefers Madrid, who's our realistic center half plan B? I'll ask that of I'll start with Brian this time.
Well, this is the one we don't need. Yeah, like, I've been bigging up Huijsen now from last year, the end of last season. But recently now it's come out about him wanting to go to Madrid. So, yeah, that's just a big no for me, because apparently, like, it's us, Arsenal and Chelsea are there ready to pay the money, ready to buy the player. But if Real Madrid say they don't want him and we bring him in 2 years' time, he's still going to want to go to Real Madrid. So that to me kind of puts a kibosh on that deal. Who would we bring in then? If this Ibo thing, if he was to leave, then we've got, because I think we already need a centre half, even without him leaving. And if he was to leave, then we all of a sudden we've got 17 transfers we need to do. So who would I haven't even thought of who I'd bring in instead of him. But I like the young lad at Forest, like Murillo. But other than him, I'm not entirely sure who I'd go for at the moment. This Konaté stuff is worrying. Like, this is the thing you're saying, people saying, someone comes out and says they want to play for Madrid, or someone comes out and says, I want to stay at Liverpool. Well, if Konaté is there, if Ibo is there saying, yeah, I don't know about this new contract thing, well, just see ya. And then we'll deal with it afterwards. We're not losing him on a free next season. We're not going through a whole year again of next season of Ibo, will he stay? So we'd have to start looking at central defenders, yeah, definitely.
All right. Let's see. I saw that message from Nalante. Lee, how about for you then?
An alternative situation.
I mean, like, basically, one, if Huijsen is saying that, I think we're all on the same page to say he can kick rocks. Like, we're not waiting on you to decide if Real Madrid values you at 50 million or not, but yet we got to pay 50 million for you. We value you. If you don't value us, then we move on. We're not that thirsty.
The idea that Real Madrid don't like the idea of paying that much for the players.
Yes, that's accurate.
That's accurate. So yeah, hopefully that's good news, because we can just steam in there and say yeah, we can afford it. Give us them, please. An awful lot more money about it. That would open the question up. Then, of course, we get two players from them as well as Kirkers. That would be less likely, I think, then, that we would buy Kirkers as well as Huijsen in the same summer from the same team. You never know, though. That's been done before. Two from one club in the same summer.
Huijsen is Dustin's saying about Huijsen. He's 19. Give him a second to think. If it's Madrid, we move. If it's us, good player. I'm not sure how that's supposed to be worded, but I think he's basically saying, like, give him a second to think about, to grow up a little bit. If he was Madrid, then, chances are, we'll have a situation, we'll have a contract that at least will get us our money back, at least. Or if necessary, put in a sizable, buyout clause that gets us our money back, or gets us maybe even more. What about the Konaté thing, though? Lee, what about the Konaté?
Yeah, it's what sort of terms we're going to be willing to offer him.
Right.
What sort of terms?
I'll ask Brian real quick just to help us out, maybe. Yeah, I was just about to ask that. Thank you, Abdul. I thought it was around £200,000 a week he's wanting. If that's accurate, then do you think that he's a £200,000 a week player? Ibu is a talented player. Don't get me wrong.
What's he on now?
I'm trying to mess with people's money.
Like 20 or something, is it? Or is it less than that?
No, even? It's less than that. I think it's only like 70-something thousand. I have to look it up.
Nice.
It's in the. I think it's in the 70s.
I'm double his weight just to keep him to like 150 from 70 or 75 if it's that. So yeah, I'd double him to 150. Don't know if I'd give him more than 150. We'd have to see more from him for that. I reckon like he'd have to be like proper like main man, like Virgil almost, to get that sort of money.
Yeah. Let me see what he's on. One second, pull up his numbers. So many. All right. So Ibu is on, £70,000 a week, and he is down to next year being his last year. His contract goes to 26. His contract goes to June 30th, 2026.
If we could afford to give him £200,000 a week and it wouldn't be a problem, then yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that either. But we're the club that's got to watch it with our wages, haven't we? Just do how many players we give like huge wages to, so we can like balance it all. We haven't got unlimited funds. So it's going to be a delicate balance in the negotiations.
Well, you can see it like this. Maybe I see Dustin saying 180,000. He thinks it's fair. I mean, in essence, you could say if you really, really want, maybe you could say, well, Trent Alexander-Arnold was on 180,000. He's going out the door. Give the 180. Give that 180 to Ibu.
See,
that's a lot. That's a lot, though. It's almost that's well over, and that's still short of his 200,000, by the way. But I mean, that's still like, that's for him to think that he's 3 times that he needs that's not double, but nearly 3 times his wages is a lot. That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's a healthy pay increase.
And you stack it up against his performances, like
exactly.
Really, really good performances, Steve Bean, and you think, is he worth that?
Mm-hmm. Or do you maybe just or maybe you capitalize now and you say, you know what, like what would be the number that you'd want back in return for Ibu if we were to part ways?
It really hurt if we lost him on the cheap.
There's no way you lose him on the cheap. You can't lose him on the cheap. You can't lose Ibu on the free, and you can't lose him on the cheap.
No, I know.
So I know. I'm not saying you're suggesting that.
Cheap, yeah. what we'd be able to buy with the money we got for him, because of him being in the last year of his contract. We cannot ask for too much, can we?
Mhm.
But it could be a good thing in another way, that like if there is any offers, they'll be so derogatory that we'll just say F off and don't come back, and then it's forgotten about, and we give him a new contract. I don't know, mate. I don't know how much we could ask for him. It's hard to let go of him for anything less than what we paid for him. It's hard to let go of him for anything less than 50 million for me, considering what you'd then be able to buy with 50 million in replacement. Like, there's not a lot out there for 50 million. Yeah, Huijsen's one, so we will be swapping one guy for another, wouldn't we? There,
Yeah.
do people want to do that?
Or maybe, hey, I mean, let's not forget we have a player in some used to be calling him VVQ, but I've definitely seen those shouts get lessened.
Yeah.
But we do have Kwanzaa as well in the center half role. Maybe he's maybe if we were to part ways of Konaté because we can't come to an agreement on price or what he wants, and maybe we go to PSG. There's no way Real Madrid is not giving us our evaluation for him, whatever it is. That's not happening. So I'm sure Real Madrid will say something to him like, "Hey, just run down your contract and do what Trent did, and then you can come over to Madrid and play for
We
us."
were talking about this on Brian's channel before, and the most likely club to give us anything approaching what we want for it would be PSG rather than Madrid, because we all know how Madrid operate. Like, considering, like, the huge club and all that. Like, that's why they have this. They've got this attitude, haven't they, about paying up what's right for players.
Mm-hmm.
I've got an attitude about them.
Yeah. If he does the contract thing, put him at reserves. We can run it. Okay. If Ibu wants, that's what Dustin has to say. Red Chili says if Ibu wants to go to PSG, then they will sell him in the summer rather than let him go for free next year. I agree with that. Abdul says Kwanzaa needs to go on loan. Okay. Alexander said, will there be a lot of suitors for Konaté? That's a very good question. And if there are suitors, then what suitors suit Ibu's preference of locations to go to? That's a big question. Very big question. Well, how about I ask this then? These are some players that for a role that people would like to see more offensive output from. I do think that the formation or the formation and the roles that are associated to the role are handled pretty shortly by Mr. Dom, the boss. But Florian Wirtz's camp isn't happy that they've been putting out, or that there's rumors now out there that he's going to Bayern Munich. He's very upset about it. And I could understand when I heard it, I was like, yeah, that's not going to go over well with the Leverkusen fan base. I'll tell you that right now. And we've reportedly had, we, meaning Liverpool, have reportedly had contact with his camp. Meanwhile, Liverpool are in for Lyon's Rayan Cherki at a cut price of 22.5 million euros. Two exciting midfield targets, but I think the question is right now we don't have space for those two players, but I'm certain that we would try to make space for one, if not both.
Could he play on the right as the Salah stand in, like, sometimes? Has he got that in him to play on the right?
You talking about Cherki or you talking about Wirtz?
I don't know that much about Cherki. Seen him, like, but don't know a lot about him.
Yeah.
He's got a good finish on him, yeah. He's seen him score some good goals, like, and at that price, it would seem like the type of deal, that'd be confident we could make if we wanted it, like,
Yeah, Abdul's saying he can play number 10 or right wing.
There you go, then. There's a
Mhm.
player to come in and shadow Mo a bit, like, you know what I mean? And can also play other positions. But it's fantasy football, isn't it? Imagining that we're going to get all these players. I mean, we do need another player in that position, so we've got two in every, but it's probably one of the ones where there's least need because of Mo's fitness record. And I know AFCON's coming up, but the amount of minutes Mo was on the pitch this season, like, whoever comes, they're not going to be playing much, are they? Not next season anyway, maybe the one after.
Okay. I know that Brian likes this player. I don't know about his interest in Cherki, but I know that he likes Florian Wirtz. Shout out, Sam Max Legend. Big up, brother. But when it comes to Florian Wirtz can be a game changer. Cherki could be a game changer. There are going to be astronomically different. If it is at this 22.5 million pound, because I know Lyon is going through some financial restraints. 22.5 million is an absolute. That's euros, not pounds, by the way. That's a steal. You most likely would be looking at closer to 85 to 100 million pounds, probably, for 100, at least 100 million euros, probably, for a Florian Wirtz. If you could only sign one player, who are you picking? That's the Brian.
What? Only one player for the whole summer?
No, if you could only sign one player, Florian Wirtz or Rayan Cherki.
Oh, I mean, it's not even a question. It's Florian Wirtz.
Okay, so but with the price tags that are associated with them.
Well, no, yeah, but you just said if you can only buy one, so I thought it wasn't going to be a price thing if you only buy one Wirtz. But yeah, like Florian Wirtz is going to cost you about minimum 100 million.
Probably so.
So that's pure fantasy football.
Well, so that's why that's the context I was trying to throw into the question. In that, if you do have to, would you be willing to spend 100 million to go get a Florian Wirtz, or would you rather get Cherki for 22.5 million euros and have plenty of cash left over? If you had 100 million to spend, you'd have plenty of money left over to go get another player in another position too, and a substantial amount of money to go get another player.
Well, no, if we had the money, go and get him. You bring in players like him, other players look at it and go, "Wow, he's going there." That just raises the profile. I'm not entirely sure how we'd fit him into our team. Who we would lose, because he'd have to play where someone else is playing. But yeah, no, Cherki's a good player. There's questions about his attitude in the past. There's a reason why he went to Lyon. Why he's so. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. Yeah, no, but you say, oh, but you'd have all this money. Well, that's different. But if you say you can only get, if you want to go out and get one of them,
well, that's what I am. That's the question.
Yeah.
That is the question.
Yeah, no, go and get Florian Wirtz.
Okay, so you'd say spend 100, go get Wirtz, and rather than spend 20 and go get maybe and use that other money for maybe another player. I got it. Okay.
If you can go and get a Florian Wirtz and he's prepared to go, you go and get a Florian Wirtz.
Okay.
Players like him don't come along very often. He raises the profile.
I know Manchester City are. I'm sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to. I was just say Baz is right. City are also involved in possibly pursuing him too.
He's going to go to Bayern. We all know he's going to go to Bayern. It's the world's most boring transfer, but he is going to go to Bayern, and it's going to suck because, like, there's more talk about him. Them looking at Morgan Gibbs White as a De Bruyne replacement, and he wouldn't cost anything like that. But like I say, look, if we're fans, we're supposed to want, we're not supposed to be accountants, and again, we have to talk about it. But players like Wirtz don't come along very often, so he makes a few sacrifices. You get someone like him in. That's what I'd be doing.
Hardly any other signings, just to spend the money on him and bring him in and just put him in our team. Just get him on the other side and just get a couple more as cheap as we can.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I thought Morgan Gibbs White was older than that, but 25 years old. All right. How much is Morgan Gibbs White going to cost?
It'd probably cost about 60 million, I'd say, something like that.
Okay. Would that be a better option, maybe?
He's a great player, yeah. He's a great player, but
is he a Liverpool? Is he a Liverpool player?
That's the thing, That's the thing. He's been brilliant this year. Can he make that step up?
I mean, if City are going to spend on him and invest in him, that's definitely a
he's any better than Curtis, like, would you? Gibbs White. I think he's got more talent.
I would have said that. I would have put Curtis Jones and Gibbs White on the same level, maybe.
Yeah. I don't see him as a signing for us for that reason.
And if anything, I think Curtis Jones is more adjusted to the style of play and what is expected from him in this team, as opposed to Morgan Gibbs White, who have to come and probably adjust. Not saying he can't. I'm just saying that he would have to adjust possibly his game a little bit to answer all the things that Arne wants from him, as opposed to Curtis Jones knows what Arne wants from him. Go ahead, Latte. You're back. You want to say what you wanted to say?
No, you're just talking about Gibbs White. Yeah, I agree with that. Curtis Jones, as much as Curtis gets his flack from some people in the chat and others, as much as but look, man, nah, Morgan Gibbs White, no, for me. Look, Curtis has more ball control. He's more of a technical player in terms of holding, receiving, moving it than Gibbs White. Gibbs White is more, he's had a good season, but no, man, if we're going there, then the world's come to an end.
Okay.
He's had a good season in a particular type of side, hasn't he? You put him into like a City side or a Liverpool side. How much
obviously
it's one thing doing it in Nuno's Forest. Players.
Yeah. But obviously Pep doesn't go for he's not going for bargains. He's not shopping at the bargain bin or something like that. He's going to go for players. He knows he's got whatever budget he wants. They've already spent 200 some odd million in the January window. They're coming up. They're talking about having this, especially with KDB leaving. They're going to be looking at, refortifying the team in a couple of different key areas. You got a Bernardo Silva, 1 year old. Everyone's going to be 1 year older, but still the same. A 1 year closer towards his foot out the door as well. There's some question marks. And if he's good enough for City, he'd be good enough possibly good enough for us, right? Or no? Or is that going too far?
Well, they spent 50 million on Calvin Phillips. How did that work out?
Okay, Calvin Phillips was a player in demand when they spent the money.
Of course, but so is Morgan. I'm just saying, just because they went to go out and get someone. It's not a guarantee, but they bought. Before it hasn't worked. I like him in a certain system. Obviously,
he's top. Is that what you're trying to say? They've bought duds. Yeah, they've bought some duds.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say he's a top quality player. No one's saying he's a bad player. I don't like to do the comparison thing. Look, he's a good player in his own in his own area, and if they want to,
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
if they want to, they have a role for him.
Mhm.
But like, to be honest, he's been brilliant for Forest this season. But Forest playing a very, very particular style.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so if he walks into a much more slower paced team like us, far less direct, more controlled. Yeah, but if Pep thinks he has a role for him, then he'd probably go there and do well. But yeah, I wouldn't. He wouldn't be a game changer for me. It'd be great to have him in the team as a player, like that we brought in or something, but or we brought through. But no, I wouldn't be going out and saying like, "Well, here's a huge number to take him," because not off the back of just that season he's had with Forest, no chance.
That's just like 22-year-old center half for them. It's spelled Murillo, but I believe,
Mario, yeah.
but it's supposed to be when you have a double L, it's it's pronounced with like a Y. So Mario.
That's the guy I mentioned earlier on. That's just if you're asking me for centre halves to look at, he was one I said I like.
That's interesting.
But again, that was just off the top of my head. He's a good player, but
I think that I like his partner actually.
Milenkovic.
Milenkovic is. I think he's a talented player.
Oh, he's better than Mario, but I think Milenkovic, they've only just bought him. He's 27. Rio's only 22. That's why if you're thinking off the top of my head for a player for the future, Milenkovic is an excellent, excellent player.
Serbian, be a good player. 22 years old. Yeah, but who knows if either they naturally, can transcend into a Liverpool back line for what we were looking for. I see you. You don't like Nicola?
Serbian.
Yeah. Okay. No, yes. Nolante.
No,
is that why you're coming on the screen?
No, JK flashed, game on, so I just good to give a little heads up.
I got you.
Heads up, yeah. Heads up, yeah. No, I'm legit. Yeah, he's decent. He's solid, but I don't mind him. But again, it's all about the system we'll play to, innit? You've spoken about Huijsen, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. I've spoken about good.
No, I said you mentioned Dean Huijsen, yeah?
Yes, we spoke on him earlier.
Okay,
yes.
cool. Okay.
Yeah, we spoke on him. We spoke on how basically it's reports out there that he's told us to wait until he's got us waiting. Apparently, he's got Chelsea waiting. Chelsea offered him a very lucrative deal. Apparently, that's supposed to be I think 7 year. They offered him a 7-year contract or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, man. Yeah. That's wild. They love offering long contracts. Big up, JK. Big up.
Big up, bro. How you doing?
Good. We're just talking a little bit about Wirtz. You can maybe you can give your impression real quick before we move on to the next segment here.
Okay.
Florian Wirtz,
Easily.
Wirtz, and then Rayan Cherki. Obviously, the price evaluation is going to be drastically different. There's reports out there that Cherki is going to be offered at a cut price of 22.5 million euros. So I don't know what that is in pounds, probably like 15 million or something like that, right? Around there. And then you'll have most likely Florian Wirtz being offered at more like an 85 to maybe even 100 million euro of price evaluation, maybe even more, but certainly in that range to start off with. If you had the ability to sign one player, and with that ability, you're weighing in the price tag that's associated with them. So 100 million for Wirtz and 22.5 million for Cherki. Are you going for Cherki or are you going for Wirtz? being that chances are with that you have 100. Let's say you have 100 million to spend, and that's all you're going to spend on. That's all you're going to spend. This is for this matter. That's all you have left. Let's say these are the last two players that we're going to have on the board, and we have 100 million left. Would you spend 100 million to go get Wirtz, or would you spend the 22.5 to go get Cherki and then have money left over to buy, another player?
Frimpong.
Yeah, Frimpong, or you could buy 2-3 players with the money you'd have left over for that.
Like for me, Cherki's playing great this season. Top seat Wirtz is one of my favorite players. He's a top little player.
Mm-hmm.
Young. I probably have to go with Cherki then, bro, because of the price. That's a bargain. Even if he did, like for me, that's a gamble signing. Like if you take him in, he smashes it. Fair play, you got him on the cheap. If he comes in, you got him on the cheap, and you don't really smash it, you could probably get the same sort of price if you like moved him on in a few years or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's worth that gamble. But I love to have Wirtz in my team, man. What a player!
What do you hear? What are you hearing also about the whole Bayern Munich rumors?
But
The rumor was apparently that what we were just speaking on is that apparently the Florian Wirtz's camp is very disappointed and angry about this Bayern Munich talk, as he's saying that there's been no contact. They're not there. There's no. There's nothing on the table. There's no he's going to Bayern Munich the way it's getting reported, at least. They're very angry about it. Have you heard anything about that over in Germany?
All I've heard is that they're proper interested in him.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, why? One, he's German. Two, he's pretty young. He's already got a league title in his bag. It's like, sometimes you can prejudge a team who they're going to sign next, and Bayern's one of them clubs. You always know what type of guy they're going to go for. And Wirtz is that perfect type of guy, bro. That'll be the main one. Man City could be even interested in him. They need a little rebuild. And he's the type of guy they can bring in. He can do that. Good player, man.
Okay.
But when I look at... Yeah.
Go no, finish.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I look at the owners, and if I was a businessman, I would think, you know what, I'd rather go and get Cherki and then use the rest of that money to get a Frimpong, a defender in, or even a DM.
Right.
You know what I mean? It makes more business sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the
I thought we already had the players. I thought we already had, when you said you want Wirtz, I thought we already had our other bits. You said there's only 2 left to come in. That's what I was thinking. I didn't, thought we already had other players.
So then with that knowledge now, what would you do? Would you change your take?
I just don't think it's a scenario that would occur, but like I say, if you have an opportunity
for
to
this
go and get
for this scenario, just
well, I'll just change the premise. Like I said, if you have an opportunity to go and get this guy, you go and get him.
Okay,
you go and get him.
If you're that confident in it, you go and get him. I'm sure if this was let's see, I'm trying to think of a good comparison. If this was an Isak versus Oshman, and one player is 50, 60 million and the other is 150 million, which player would you get? That's what I mean by that question. They're both very talented players, very comparable, but one player leaves you cash to go and do other moves. One player will take a sizable amount of your probably, I don't want to say the word. I'm not trying to trigger people, but the WC word. So that's what they're getting at. Well, I'll ask you this then, Brian. Republic of Ireland manager Hall Grimson, right? Says it plainly. And you say is his first name Heimer?
Cherki might be a bad shout as a replacement for Jota if he plays.
Maybe so. That's good. Yeah, that's a good shout. But is it Heimer? Is it Heimer? Is his first name? Or is it, how do you pronounce his first name? Republic of Ireland manager, Brian?
Yeah,
I didn't want to.
yeah.
I didn't want to mispronounce it. That's why I was asking. Heimir. So he said it just recently. I don't know if he's trying to stoke the flames, or maybe a journalist got out there and got the quote that he wanted so he can get something to put in the headline. But he said Kelleher is too good to sit on Liverpool's bench. He wants him gone from Liverpool. But obviously, it is going to be the case where we're most likely going to see Kelleher leave the team this summer. Is now the right time for Kelleher to leave, or is he too valuable as Alisson's backup? And do we maybe try to have him stay for one more year or something? I'll ask that of you, Brian. And if anything, who would be your ideal number 2 if Kelleher does depart?
Mamrashvili.
Okay.
I mean, we've got one in the door, so yeah. Well, Heimer, freaking, he's not like, obviously, he's not. He's fucking Icelandic. I don't know if you're pronouncing it spot on or not, but yeah,
Okay.
Heimer.
I figured you would have heard the name pronounced quite a few times.
Yeah, but by Irish people who might not be pronouncing it correctly.
All right. I got you. I get what you're saying.
No, he's right. I mean, he's known for a while now. He needs to go and just do his own thing. I think, yeah. Now this is the summer, yeah. Especially after we're keeping Ali. We've got a new keeper coming in, so now is the perfect time. You can get into, if you wanted, like, if you're asking me that question, that's the answer to that question. People want to get into the weeds about, but is he better? Is he better? I don't know. But if we have 2 goalkeepers, one we've just bought, the other is Ali. Kelleher is going to be kicking his heels. So yeah, I think this guy's obviously come out with it. Like, he's a new manager. He's coming out. He's making a statement. But I think the bones of what he's saying is correct. Is that Kelleher is too good to not be playing football. Really, it's not an anti-Liverpool thing. I think we were talking about the other day. I think he's good enough to play for Chelsea. He's good enough to play for Newcastle. So yeah, I think now is absolutely the perfect time. This summer is, yeah, he's achieved a hell of a lot at Liverpool, and he's not been given the opportunity. Everything he's done. He's come in. He's never let us down. He made a high profile error twice that I can think of. He's made a high profile error against Newcastle. It was one, but other than that, he's been pretty much spot on for us.
For Liverpool,
the League Cup finals and all that. So
maybe one or
there's
two.
No, I mean for Liverpool. Yeah,
That's
it's absolutely the perfect time, because the kid, like I've been trying to say, I've just been trying to say after.
Finish your thought.
After everything he's achieved with us, he sat down, like, I don't know, people should listen to interviews, he sat down and said, I did everything I was doing. He said, look, I'm cool. I know the main man is the main man. I know Ali is the main man, and I'm cool with that. I get that. He's saying, but you go out and you do your thing, you perform, and then the club goes and buys another goalkeeper. So that tells you everything. He said, as a player, that tells you what you need to know. So he'll have a very he'll look back on his career, incredible career at Liverpool, but with a lot of what ifs. Why what if the club had backed him instead of getting Mamrashvili? What if the club had said, no, we're going to keep Quiven, and he will,
What's the age difference between the two, real quick, if you off the top of my head? Isn't he like it's like 2-3 years age difference?
Well, between Mama and Kelleher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a year and a half, something like that, year and a half. Yeah, it's not like 8 years or 6 years.
Right.
Yeah, it's but Kelleher's older, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, now is the time for him to go and make his career. But he did come out, and he's obviously disappointed in the club. Buying a new goalkeeper when he's been doing so well.
But was he going to sit there for another 2 years, maybe? Because that's if he's a year and a half, 2 years, then most likely, that's Ali playing out his career, or playing out his contract at least. And then as you said, Mamardashvili filling in as the starter once he.
Yeah, that's the whole point. He's coming out and said, like, I've done everything I can, and I know Ali is there, and he might be having an eye on Ali getting injured. But said, okay, well now even if something does happen, they've got Mamardashvili. So it tells me. I think the way he said it is like it tells you what the club is thinking.
Mhm.
So his motivation will have dropped, I believe. Seeing that guy being signed will have been a massive. I know for a fact seeing Mamardashvili signed, because it's been in the papers over here, was a massive kick in the balls for him.
Mm.
There really was. He didn't take that. Not that he took it bad. He's a top pro, but he was very, very kind of disappointed by that. So that was the last, not the last straw, but it was what helped him make the decision to move on.
Mm.
But like we've always said, you can't sell a player until someone offers you money for him.
Mm.
So Kelleher is sitting there now. He's waiting for a club to come in. If no club comes in and offers us money for Kelleher, what are we going to do? Like send him back to Cork? You know, he'll still be at the club.
Mm.
You know, but I think his head is gone now. You know, two top keepers coming. Well, Mama, who knows? But yeah, this Ireland managers are going to look out for themselves. An Ireland manager wants an Ireland player to be playing. That's pretty much all that says to me. And he's one of our best players. So he wants him to be playing week in, week out, top level football for his benefit, basically. That's what Heimer fucking Helgesen or Heimer Helgesen or fucking whatever it is.
Right.
That's him from his point of view, that's what he's saying. But it was a kick in the teeth for him. That's the way he said it. It was basically a kick in the teeth to see after everything he put in that the club was like, yeah, but we still need another goalkeeper. So it's like, oh, okay. Okay, cool. Well, I know how you feel then. You know, that's thanks for your service. Obviously, I'm not good enough for you. So
Yeah, that was weak. Weak. Whoever decided to go and get that guy, that is just embarrassing. But what Kelleher has done for us, fair play to the lad, man. A big respect for him. But we didn't even need to go and buy this goalkeeper. That 30 million could be bought. We could have bought a bloody DM, Andre, the one who went to Wolves. We could have bought him, and he would have done more for us in the last 2 years. You know what I mean? It's so stupid that signing that goalkeeper when Kelleher, for me, is a guy who in the next year, 2 years, or whatever, could become number one for Liverpool for a few years, no problem. So I'm a bit disappointed in that. But I just want to go what Honesty's saying here, bro, about the Forest player, Ione. He went into a coma, yeah? Yeah, so
Can you bring
wish
up
him
his
well.
if you don't mind bringing up his quote?
Oh, I'll find it. Sorry, I'll go get it.
Yeah, so all of us guys wish him well, man. Big time.
Way back.
That was way back. Okay.
Yeah, I read about that this morning. That's a horrible one. Yeah, that's really, really not often you hear it. Here you go. There you go.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's all have thoughts and prayers to his family and to the young man. I'm hoping that we all hope that he has a successful surgery, possibly, if that's what I think that's what's at the end for him. But let's certainly have even more successful recovery. Hopefully for him. That's horrible news to hear.
Who's playing?
What's that? What I was going to do is this. Yeah, go ahead. On some reason, there's a delay.
I was going to say he's playing Forest, wasn't he? But is he moved now? Is he still at Forest?
Oh, he's still there.
He's still there. Yeah.
Still at Forest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, this segment is this segment is called Scouse Lee. Remember when? Remember when with Scouse Lee? So on this day, May 13th, 2006, 19 years ago, Stevie G delivered one of the greatest cup final performances, in my opinion, ever. that 35-yard thunderbolt in stoppage time against West Ham. Pure poetry. The match, the drama, the shootout was peak Liverpool. We're going to have, I have some panel questions, but I'm going to have you guys just reflect a little bit back to that day with Lee. Lee, what were your thoughts when you got to see that FA Cup final, 2006? Oh, Lee? Of course, Lee gets his own segment, and he's going to be late on it. He's not going to be there.
Really good that we let in some.
Oh, there you go.
In the end, didn't we? Like,
yeah.
Thanks to Steve.
Lee.
I'm on the deck.
Wait, rewind and start over, because none of us heard the beginning part of what you were saying there. You might have had yourself on mute or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's okay. Just mine.
So yeah, tell us again what you thought. This is Scouse Lee's Remember When. 2006. What was it? FA Cup final.
No, I'm saying we conceded some very bad goals on the day, didn't we? We were bad defensively on the day at Wembley when Gerrard saved us. It's one of my abiding memories of that cup final, because they were bad goals we gave away. But, you know, it was a final and we won, so it didn't matter in the end. Like, they were good. It was, I've enjoyed other finals more. If I'm honest, the goal of his I enjoyed more was the Olympiacos one. I just think that looked better, even though his Wembley one was further out. I like watching the Olympiacos one, like, because there was some great angles of it.
Okay, that might be a Remember When soon enough, but
second trophy, sorry, it was the third trophy for Rafa, because we won the Super Cup as well after we won the Champions League. So the FA Cup was the third trophy for Rafa, and he needed it. Like, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. It was brilliant, wasn't it? Like, they call it the Gerrard final, don't they? Yeah, I'm well nice with goals like that.
Okay, all right. What's do you have any fond memories of that final, Nalante?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great game Paris to win, and then Liverpool in finals always give us scares. Roller coaster of a ride, never make it easy. You know, I'm 2-0 down, and I was thinking, oh my days, jeez. And then we started to come back, you know, the fully, you know, Cisse, Gerrard first, and West Ham played well, and we had those chances, and that waste of space, the man who were named Nameless, who played for a club under Woy, that fluke of that fluke of a cross. And then you think, you know what, it's not going to be our day. And then upstairs, Captain G, Stevie G, the Stevie G final with that rocket. And then after that, I remember extra time was just in and out. I think we had one or two chances. They tired Peter out, and then penalties. But I always felt confident in penalties. I don't know why. I just felt confident. Just a penalty takers and Pepe Reina, and so it's proved. But yeah, we don't make half hard work of it. But yeah, we've got the win at the main day. So yeah, Stevie G final.
Stevie G final. Well, do you agree that it's possibly his greatest final? Greatest English, at least English final, being FA
yeah,
Cup,
if it's a domestic one. It's just has to outrank it.
You still have his Champions League being a better final.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Players,
Champions League, that's why.
Just because of Champions League.
Istanbul, he didn't.
I mean, FA Cup's a big deal. FA Cup's a big deal too. Your microphone maybe it's my headphones or not, but your microphone's going in and out a little bit there, Lee.
Yeah.
Your microphone's sabotaging you on your big stage debut.
Okay, what I'll do is we'll take.
Well, how about for you guys, Brian? How about for you, JK? Whichever one of you want to go first. What were your thoughts on that final?
Great,
What were your
JK.
memories? Your memories on that final, at least.
Yeah. For me, it's like all about that Gerrard goal. Like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm,
Like, we needed someone to score, and he comes with that beauty. Like, for me, that's probably one of, if not one of my favorite goals, was Gerrard. Meaning of it all, and just getting us into that game.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it was a good final, exciting, like they used to be, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But for me, what a game! It was a top game.
Top game for sure. How about for you, Brian?
Mainly Alan Pardew losing his mind. That was it. I mean, he was asked. It was funny. Someone kind of had the stupidity to ask him. Was like, so, why did you think you could put it in from there, kind of thing?
Mm-hmm,
And Jared said, I couldn't run. He said his legs were gone. His legs were one. I said,
yeah, that's what honestly was saying here, that he was
he said he hit it.
cramped.
He had nothing left. His legs were done. So he just said, look, I'm just going to hit this.
I'll just hit it from here. Yeah,
That's pretty much it. I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes. I forgot about Konchesky. But yeah, probably one of the best goals you'll ever see in a cup final. But yeah, I just remember Pardew's face. That's what I remember, mainly from it, because it's so long ago now. You remember the goal. It was probably, I don't even know if it was a good game. But we've got a McManaman final, we've got a Gerrard final. Iconic moments. But he'd swap it all for a. He'd swap it all for a praise. He'd swap that final for a Premier League, one Premier League, all of those like that iconic goal. He'd swap that in definitely for a Premier League title. But he showed that's where you build your myth on, really, or your legend on is moments like that. Not many Liverpool players have had moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think he kind of, because he'd had a couple of good goals that year, but the previous one again, Olympiacos, all that stuff. So yeah, he was the man really when it came to finals. If you had two or three like him, you'd win everything. Just people with that kind of ability and that kind of drive. But yeah, that's what I just remember. Alan Pardew collapsing to the ground basically.
Pards. He was all right, Pardew. He was in that Palace side that beat us in 1990 in the semi-final, 4-3. Pardew.
Remember when? Okay. Just wondering, little flashback to 2006. Great performance. One of it's why when it's like performances like that, that's the reason why. Again, I think that Mohamed Salah statistically, obviously, is definitely making moves up the ranks as one of our greatest ever in the Premier League era, at least. But Stevie G just absolutely had some monumental performances in some of these in finals for us. That's not the only final he's ever stepped up for us, obviously. And he has certainly endeared himself to a lot of us as being the greatest of all time when it comes to Premier League era history. And if not, maybe even one of the greats of all time, period. So I have some fringe stories, some quick hits real quick before we wrap it up. We're at the 140 mark, a little bit over 90 minutes here, so we're in a little extra time. So these quick hitters. Everton, apparently, the Everton women will move to Goodison Park. Should be pretty cool to see them play in that stadium. and that it's not, automatically going to the wayside or something. That the ladies will be able to embark on the goodness of Goodison. James Milner is in talks for one more season. The man is like a Swiss clock. He just keeps on ticking. 39 years old, still looking to play, still thinking he's capable of contributing. Absolutely incredible. And there is Manchester United. I don't know if this is just for laughs or if this is like maybe something that was like slipped in through the banter, a banter take. But Man United are planning a barbecue if they win the Europa League. I don't know if that's all they can afford these days or not, but apparently they're going to have a barbecue at Old Toilet.
Buy a swimming pool, is it?
Yeah, get a big above ground swimming pool and put it in the middle of Old Toilet.
What was that stuff where they were having to lay off catering people and that like a few months ago to make savings? That bit was funny, where they were having to cut down on how much they were spending on food and stuff and on staff. That made me laugh.
Yeah, it might be. It just might be BYOB, type barbecue for the Red Devils, considering they are hurting in the cash flow area apparently for some of their acquisitions that they're looking to do. BYOB, but yeah, one. Who do you have in this Europa final, by the way? Who would you pick real quick? If you had to pick one or the other, obviously Spurs or Red Devils. Lee, who would you pick real quick?
Spurs.
Okay.
Spurs for sure.
Spurs
101%.
Spurs because you just don't want to see Red Devils win, or Spurs because you believe Spurs can win?
Yeah. No, I don't want them to have a barbecue.
I mean, which is it? You don't want the barbecue to hit? Okay. All right.
No. I mean, the devil will be well suited to a barbecue. He's used to hot charcoal and that, like, isn't he, the fella? And he's definitely red. I've seen the devil. I've seen him in South Park, and he is the colour red, mate. There's no denying it. I don't want them to have no barbecue, no trophy and no barbecue.
You know what's wild too? I'll let you guys real quick. Just give me a who you think it is, and then because I have a follow-up question real quick. Brian, who do you have? Spurs, Man United.
If you ask quick, Spurs. Yeah,
Okay.
Spurs.
Go ahead and tell me what you think, JK.
I want Spurs, but I think United will win.
Okay. So you're going, okay. Yeah. What I was going to ask this. What I was going to ask is this. I think it shouldn't be. I think it'd be actually more interesting if they did this a different scenario. I'll pose the second scenario after I asked the initial question. But there's an absolute chance, a small chance, albeit, but an absolute chance that what are they, 16th and 17th, I think, respectively now, that the Red Devils or the Spurs will not only have a Europa Championship or Europa Cup to their silverware haul, they'll be playing for the UEFA Super Cup. They could bag 2 trophies this year, technically.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either. That'd give them further encouragement, their fan base, that I don't want. Yeah, I just don't like it. It goes back a long way. Long before the internet, I never really thought about it. And there was a programme on BBC following grassroots footballers playing on a Sunday, like just grassroots Sunday league football, but they all supported teams. And a bunch of them were Man United fans, and then you've seen them in the pub. And they were about to do the double for the second year in a row. And just because we got knocked out of the FA Cup by Tottenham, they were all made up going, Jurgen, 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 in the pub and that, like, and that's when the pennies dropped for me. They're more asked that, like, we get nothing than they win the double. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I want nothing.
That's why I think that, you know, would be even more interesting, though. And I wouldn't, especially with the way that they've structured Europa. This is just me thinking outside the box, but why not have it where the Europa Conference League winner plays the Europa winner, so that they can pick out a Europa champion, and then that Europa champion plays the Champions League champion. I think that'd be interesting. Am I alone in that scenario, or is that
You
too
need
much?
to go and have dinner with Arsene Wenger.
I know. I'm gonna send that. I'll see if I can get his email. Send it to him. Hey, Arsene, got a good idea for you.
United did get a fantastic victory against PSG, didn't they, under Ollie? That they were all crowing about, because, like, after the match, there was a picture of, like, Ollie with Fergie, because, like, Fergie had gone to Paris or something. There was a picture of the two of them, you know, arm around each other and that smiling. That was a big result for them when they went and won there. So they could play Paris again, couldn't they? In
The Conference League doesn't play anyone. The Conference League,
could play Inter.
That's exactly what I just said. Okay, so I'm not alone. That's what I just said. Basically, Conference League will play Europa, since they're both technically it's Europa Conference League and it's the Europa, it's the UEFA Europa League. So the Europa Conference League and the Europa League will play to see who's the champion of Europa, quote unquote, and then they would have to take on the Champions League.
It's an extra game for no reason. He's saying maybe the Conference League played. No, Dustin's saying that they play off to see who plays in the Champions League. He's saying maybe
to play the Champions League. I got what you're saying. Yeah, that could be it. Because, you know, especially since they've already tinkered with it in the sense of champions. There used to be Champions League teams. Once they were relegated, they got bounced down to Europa, but now it's not even that. And that could be a hard reason why, or a big reason why you have, you know, a 16th and 17th place team in the league playing for the title.
Make that Leon team weren't up to much either, but at least they put up a fight compared to Bilbao. It was the penalty killed Bilbao and the sending off and the penalty together. That was it, wasn't it? Like on their own pitch, they were already 1-0 down, weren't they? That was just it over. But Leon, no, they weren't. Who else? Yeah, they played. Who did we say we played? Sociedad, was it? Yeah, they played Sociedad, didn't in the group stage. Spurs, I mean,
if they ended up doing what Dustin suggested, then the Super Cup wouldn't make much sense. Because then if the Europa team ended up hypothetically beating a Champions League team, but yet they lost to the Champions League, to the Europa League team, and you don't get in the Champions League, that would be kind of like anticlimactic. I think it'd be good. All the way that they're trying to get more, they're trying to figure out more ways to get tournaments in. It's a one-off game too. It's not like I'm saying it's not like it'll be that much more of, you know, trying to schedule around. It'd be a 2-week, if not 3-week affair. Maybe put like a 2-week intermission between actually seeing the Europa play, or Europa winner play the Champions League winner.
I loved it.
I'll be honest with you.
When we were able to
I'll be honest with you. Oh, I was gonna say real quick. I'll be honest with you. I think that the Europa League, possibly, especially if Chelsea win it, that's horrible to think of, but still, they are the odds-on favorite to win the Conference League. You could argue that the Conference League winner is a better team than either of the two candidates in Europa. Obviously, they're champion. I mean,
This season,
yeah, this season, yeah,
maybe not every season.
maybe not, but this season certainly.
Yeah, I just leave. I don't. Yeah, no. Look, it's a thing you could do. I wouldn't. I just leave it alone. It's just the winners Europa. What used to be UEFA Cup plays the winner of the Champions League. This conference thing is a new thing, so why should they get to get? I mean, that's you said 2 weeks. Calendar is pretty. But yeah, like I said, go and have a chat with Arsene Wenger and see if he can get a push through for you.
Yeah,
He's got great ideas. So
it does.
I was pleased in 2001
throw-ins,
when we won the UEFA
kick-ins.
Cup as part of the treble and were
No
able
more
to play
throw-ins.
Bayern.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
yeah.
Wenger wanted, wasn't it? No more throw-ins. He wanted kick-ins instead.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if any of his ideas he's been paid about 200 grand a year or whatever it was to come up with has ever been actually brought into play. That guy is just doddering around an office, just making shit up off the top of his head.
Still all the same. I think
Well,
no
they
one
should
really.
be talking about proper things. They should be talking about proper things like this ridiculous offside law, which has led to that Awani injury, which is, to me, it's something that I haven't really understood for a while. I know why they're, well, I don't understand. I know why they're trying to do it, but and you can't blame it on the injury on it. But to me, it's shown, like we've always said, loads of people have said, yeah, but what would happen if the keeper come out and blah 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 hit this guy, or it's everyone knows it's offside and it's just waiting for a thing for the linesman to put his flag up and then it stops. And it's like, yeah, but what would have happened if a guy comes out and a goalkeeper comes out and clatters him? That's what happened down when that was an offside. That was going to be flagged offside, but they didn't. They waited for whatever to happen, and the guy ends up in the scenario that he's in now. That should have been flagged offside. Play should have been stopped. Some of them are fine, but some of them are absolutely ridiculous, and that one has led to what people have been saying for a while. Like, somebody's going to get injured here. No one's thinking obviously something that drastic, but just constantly playing on. Some player doesn't know and he clatters into somebody. It's like someone's going to get fucking injured in a dead space, a dead part of the game. And that's what's gone and happened there. So hopefully Arsene Wenger might get his head out of his arse and say, well, we need to look at this. Or whoever it is in the Premier League say, yeah, that's actually a problem. Players don't realise, players still going for challenges. And Alanga was clearly offside. And then, the play continues on for no reason whatsoever. And you get that. I think something like this has been obviously not something this bad. But it was only a matter of time before somebody got injured in a phase of play that should not have been happening. No need to be happening.
Shouldn't have happened yet. It happened annoyingly a lot to us when Klopp was playing a high line, and it mattered for Van Dijk had the potential to be injured running back. Like, it used to get on my nerve badly when they'd let really obvious ones go. I remember we were away at Burnley and there was two that were just ridiculous. Like, anyone could see, you could see from the moon that they were offside, and he just let it go. It's like, anyway.
The moon, huh? It's far.
Well, yeah, from far away, like from outer space.
From far away.
Well, from
trying to
a vantage point, like.
I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to look up. Have any of his ideas actually been implemented? I think the only one that's on the verge of being implemented is the daylight rule. Speaking of offsides, that's whereas it has to be like some type of daylight between the actual defender and the actual offensive player.
Oh yeah, being offside by a toenail. I mean,
and then maybe the 2 years, every 2 years one. That was one of his ideas too. I don't really know about that one, but
he can fuck off with that.
where World Cup will be every 2 years.
Yeah, just stop trying to change. The game was perfected a long time ago. Like the 32 game, 4 groups of 4, 32 teams. That was perfect. That works perfectly, but they had to keep changing it. You know, the game was perfected a long time ago, and they just messed with it. You know, they've improved certain things, but now they just can't. They can't sit still. They just want to keep changing things. A World Cup every 2 years. Oh, FIFA would love that, wouldn't they? Of course they would, Mr. Wenger. So who's paying your wages? Is he working for UEFA? Is he working for FIFA? You know, Arsene Wenger was supposed to be about player welfare, and now he wants World Cup every 2 years. Okay.
I think he's working for FIFA, right?
Yeah.
Not UEFA. Yeah.
Yeah. And who is to find the only thing that FIFA can sell is a World Cup. It's the only thing they make money from. They don't own any other competitions. That's why they want to start this FIFA Club World Cup, because they can make money out of it. Their cash cow, 90% of what FIFA makes comes from World Cups. So guess what? Yeah, of course they want to have
so then have
one
every 2 years
rather than 4 years.
Right.
Yeah, it's all about money. It's just about money, not about football or player welfare, anything like that.
Big up, Red Chili. Definitely take care, brother. Definitely appreciate the support. Yeah. I think that's pretty much all he's done, really. I know you said I think the throw-in one is something that they've been trying to incorporate into the game a little bit here and there. I think it's been, I want to say it's being used in was it indoor football or something? It was something. I forget which league it was being tried out. Whereas rather than have throw-ins, you would have actually, I guess you call them kick-ins. I don't know, whatever they refer to as going forward. But well, anyway, I guess hopefully, who knows? Hopefully, we won't see any barbecue invites in our inbox for Red Devil barbecue at the Old Toilet. But while the lads rest and recharge, we will stay switched on here at this channel. Transfers are coming. We definitely know that. Exits are looming. We definitely know that. Arne Slot, I guess since Zakir was asking about, do we see the league? Do we see us dominating the league or for the next 2 years? It's about what Arne Slot's vision is for our team going forward. This is now, it's been a year of him dealing with whatever was in the fridge, whatever was left over in the fridge, basically to cook up. And now he's going to have his own grocery list. So, look, we appreciate the fact that you guys have been tuning in, that you guys rock with us, especially some of the OGs in the chat. If you're new, definitely look to subscribe to the channel. Always, and I believe just always and forever, just support Reds as best as you can. There's so many channels out there nowadays, but it's especially important that we support those red channels out there. Whereas, and you notice a difference. You notice when you tune in, it's more of a welcome, Reds family style element. It's a conversation where you can join in. It's a place where you can feel comfortable to be able to ask questions if you don't know, or just, or maybe you just have an insight or something you want to share, to do so. It's important that you recognize that, because there's so many channels out there that they really don't care about you, much less they don't care about anything other than the numbers. So yeah, it's really about understanding the difference. And this channel, or whether it's the Irishman Football Channel, or whether it's LRFC, when JK or Lante or even Fozzie or whoever is on as the host for their channel, embarking on some channels like that, Bayesian Reds TV, channels like that really are trying to create atmospheres for us to have a forum that we can feel comfortable, speaking with each other. And just the fact of just being with fellow Reds, it really does make a difference. So we appreciate your support. Please drop any of your comments or any of the answers to the polls or whatever questions we said in the show in that comment section. Let us know who you want us to roll with going into the summer, who you want us to roll out, I guess, in the summer. From Dubai to Ibiza to from Anfield to YouTube. This is the Liverpool 12th Man Show. We appreciate each and every one of you. We will be back tomorrow. I'll let the crew say their piece. Nolante, do you want to say your piece out? Or okay, cool. You're there.
A great show, everyone. Day, night, morning, whatever time of the world. Take care. See you on the other side. 20 times. Championes. Peace.
Championes. Brian, anything you'd like to say?
No, just thanks for everyone for being in. And I know we're going later than normal.
Yeah.
To what time we're starting later than normal. So it's good to see people still coming in. I know it's late. It's midweek. But yeah, it's great to see the sport. So keep coming in, keep chatting. Keep an eye out for everybody. Like 12th Man saying, all the other channels doing good stuff. So keep an eye out. I'll probably be doing a show tomorrow. I'll probably be doing a team of the season show tomorrow. And that'll be based on a chat. That won't be based on I've decided the team of the season. So if anybody wants to come into the chat and have their say and help us pick their team of the season so far, if you feel like doing that, I'll probably be doing it tomorrow. So keep an eye out for it.
Sounds good. JK?
Yep. Big up the chat as always. Also the panel. Press the like on the button on the show. That'd be cool as well. And subscribe to Brian's channel as well. Top shows.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta give a shout for your own channel too, by the way. So
that was soon come.
Okay. And Scouse Lee. Give a shout.
Yeah, thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks to everyone for your contributions and that. See you all soon. We'll be down in Brighton soon enough, won't we?
Yes, we will. Two games left on the season. Hopefully we can pick up these W's. Hopefully you'll be with us for when we do. And if not, hopefully just be with us in general, because it really does make a difference when we all walk together. So let's do that. And as always, my friends and family out there, you'll never walk alone, and up the Reds for sure. So we'll see you soon. See you tomorrow. Take care, and definitely job bless.